So have you noticed that homeschooling in Texas just keeps getting bigger and bigger? Here, watch this.
The state of Texas saw a drop of more than 75,000 students signing up for traditional public schools.
And Fox 4's Sean Rabb is in our newsroom this evening with some context about what this means for Texas public schools. Sean.
Yeah, let's start with this. It's the first time since 1987, outside of the pandemic, that our state has had a decline in the number of students going to your traditional public school districts. This is what the State Committee on Education heard Monday. Since 1987, this is only the second drop in traditional ISD enrollment. Now, at the pandemic, there were 122,000 student decline. That number bounced back last year. More than 5.5 million students enrolled. This school year, more than 75,000 of those have disappeared. Mary Lynn Pernetta is director of Texas36.org. She says this is a relatively small percentage of students in your ISDs.
So there you heard it straight from the mouth of Fox News. Something major just happened. For the first time, Texas is rolling out education freedom accounts, often called TEFA, T-E-F-A. Hundreds of thousands of families have applied. And I want to say straight up front, homeschooling in Texas is still legal. Parents still have the primary responsibility for their children's education. But this new development raises some questions that every homeschooling family should be asking, especially if you're homeschooling in Texas. And that is, what about these funds? What string is associated with these funds? Are they legitimate, or is there a secret kind of agenda behind it? And so let's just kind of talk about it. Applications have exceeded the number of expectations by far. Parents want options, however, because a lot of parents want to homeschool, but some of them just don't have the funds to do so. And, of course, whenever government steps in and wants to, offer funds, people want to know, are strings attached to this? Could regulations come down the road? Could this affect my homeschooling family tomorrow? But I do think we need to stay informed and not just panic, because panicking doesn't lead anywhere good. And one thing I want to bring up is that, yes, pay attention to the legislation, pay attention to the policies. At the same time, we shouldn't assume that every new development is automatically bad. Some families may actually benefit from these funds and from the educational resources that come with it. Others may decide, hey, I don't think I want these funds because I don't need them. And in that situation, there's no reason to even concern yourself with TEFA. As a Christian, I believe that children are a gift from God, and parents are not merely assistants to the state. Parents have the right to raise their own children. They have the right to guide them and direct them in the way that they believe that they should go under the inspiration of God. So if they want stronger families and stronger relationships, and they want greater flexibility, and they increasingly want to spend more time with their children by, pulling them out of the public school system, they should be allowed to do that. And that shouldn't even be a conversation. Many parents are beginning to actually realize that simply following the traditional path just isn't an option for them. In many communities, there's become a respected and growing educational choice to homeschool your families at home. So I'm here to firstly just reassure you that you're doing the right thing. Never mind what policymakers are saying, never mind what the legislation is saying, you're doing right by your child for even having that desire. But if you want to take a step further, and maybe you need some educational resources or you need some funding, TEFA could be the path for you if that's the direction that God wants you to go in. So political leaders, of course, have come and go, policies change, people change, but the mission remains the same. That is, Texas homeschooling may have entered a new chapter, but at the same time, you are still the mother, you are still the father, you are still the caregiver, you are still the guardian, you're still the grandmother, the grandfather, you're still the person who's entrusted to take care of this child. And so, if you believe that TEFA is right for you, if you believe the funds are going to be assistance to you and to your family, then this is a great time to apply for them. And if you need help, of course, just reach out to me in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to guide you based on what I have access to. But at the same time, don't let all the noise of TEFA, disturb you or get you off your guard. And the best thing I believe that anybody can do is ensure that you're being led by God when you're making these sorts of decisions, because I honestly can't look ahead 3, 5, 10 years down the road and say there's strings attached or there aren't strings attached to this. So I don't want to give bad advice. The advice I would give you is find out what God says, because he can see 3, 5, 10, 500 years into the future. And he's the one who's going to tell you what's best for you and your family. Anyways, this is just a short video just to let you know that TEFA is in full swing now. Many people have applied for it. This is a great time to do so if you're looking for homeschooling resources or just for a little financial assistance. You don't have to wait until next year or anything like that, just go ahead and apply for it if it's right for you and if you feel like God is calling you to do that. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode. This is Juanita with Homeschool Now, and I will see you in the next one. God bless.